Welcome, this is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. Coming to you live here from Gen Con 2019, bringing you all the board game coverage all week long. As usual, I'm your host, Matt, and right now I am joined with Aaron from Elzra Games. How you doing?
Oh, keeping it okay, thanks.
And we also got special guest Mark from the Chubby Meeple.
Hello, everybody. Glad to see you all again. See you all.
See you all, quote unquote, air quotes there. So first and foremost, gents, how's Gen Con treating you so far?
I'll let the Chubby Meeple answer that first.
It's going really well. It's been a busy con. Didn't really, leading up to the con, I didn't plan a lot of things, but as cons do, they tend to get out of control and things start getting planned for you. So lots going on, seeing a lot of things, meeting a lot of people, seeing a lot of the same faces that people you connect with on social media and getting to see them in person. That once a year you get to see everybody.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's pretty awesome. So meeting and reconnecting with friends. So you had a good con so far, Aaron?
Well, mainly I've just been having meetings. So, you think, well, you run a game publishing company, you get to come to these things and play games.
None at all.
I typically don't get to play any games. I'm mainly just meeting contacts and, arranging for things to get printed and or shipped. So that's what I've been trying to do while I'm here.
It's basically the heavy Euro of life that you get to play.
That's right. It's booth placement in real time, right? You go between the booths and
Exactly.
Talk to
Resource
folks.
management economic game. Gotta love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with an emphasis on time management.
There is that.
Yeah, that's always the roughest part. So, Aaron, what's going on with Elzra Games? What do you want to talk about today?
Well, we do have our new printing of Catacombs 3rd edition, which is now broadly available. So we made some further improvements based on community feedback to that third printing, and you can find it right now at the con. It's at booth 1031 at the Indie Game Alliance booth, or IGA as it's known. So you can go over there and pick up a copy. We're also preparing to launch our Kickstarter campaign for Catacombs Cubes.
And you brought me this behemoth right here. Oh, I got to work out lifting it up.
Yeah, that's correct.
So
yeah, there's the prototype box for it.
I'm gonna let you pick that up too.
All right.
Feel how hefty that is there.
Oh, that's got some weight to it.
Yeah.
It's got some weight to it. Yeah, that's what we always seem to end up doing. We always seem to end up putting out some products that've got some weight to it, right? So, be warned if you're trying to pick up Catacombs and haul it around across the floor all day, right? So, anyway, that's what. So, we're hoping to launch the Kickstarter campaign later this month.
Mm-hmm.
We're still nailing down the precise date, but it will be this month, and we're looking forward to it. We've made a lot of great progress on it, and it's great to see it coming together, and after almost 2 years of work, coming to life.
It's very cool too, because we've had a chance to see you at all of these conventions throughout the years here and see kind of the evolution of Catacombs Cubes, and see the early development work that you were talking to us about.
That's right.
Kind of get the status updates, and then finally at Dice Tower Con, the last one we saw you at, you had almost a finished production copy there. There was just a few minor tweaks I think you were left with, and so
correct,
now this is basically production prototype that we've got here. Or
yeah, that's right. Yeah, production prototype. Yep, exactly.
And then we'll be featuring this on our Spotlight show closer to the Kickstarter date. So we're still hammering out the final dates there, but I'm super stoked about this just because this has a lot of a really great thinky feel to it based off of what you showed me. So I'm super hyped about it.
Yeah, well, we are too.
And more games in the Catacombs universe is always a welcome thing.
Mm-hmm.
Catacombs is such a great game.
Oh, thanks very much.
Oh, it really is.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you were familiar with it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It comes out
good.
quite often.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. Well, you're not flicking in this one. You're building.
Oh.
So that's a bit of
Dexterity aspect.
Yeah, there's still that tactile element to it, but you're building the town as opposed to tunneling a catacomb underneath it.
Nice. I like that idea. I like the concept. Well, I'd definitely encourage folks to check it out when it launches later this month.
Oh, I appreciate that. That'd be
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, thanks.
So Aaron, give us like a little rundown of what our viewers should expect from Catacombs Cubes here.
Well, I like to think of it as a game where you have these Tetris-like wood cubes, and they're different shapes. So these are polycubes in terms of the geometric description of them. And you're going to have a plan for a building, kind of like a Lego set, and you have to build that before your friends do in order to then take that building tile and add it to the town. So the town will build out over the course of the game, and it'll finish when the village grid is complete. Yeah, you've got this wonderful opportunity to flex those spatial relationship muscles, but you're still got some worker placement and resource management elements to it as well. So we think it'll be a great gateway game that you could play with the kids and the family with our very family-friendly artwork. But then also, if you want a more kind of thinky type experience, you'll get that. You'll get that too. So there's different ways to play it. You can play in a take that competitive method, or you can play in a fully cooperative method. So there's different ways that you can customize the way that the game plays out.
Very cool. So I know that you're a busy man, and you're saying you're having meetings all this convention long. So what else is going on with Elzra Games?
Well, we've got some new products in development. Of course, I mean most companies have the product pipeline, and so the one that I'm liking the look of at the moment is one where you have a dexterity top-down view on dragon riding. So that people may think that that's like our Wyverns expansion. It isn't. This is a brand new design, but it just happens to, at least at the moment, feature that idea thematically.
Is that in the Catacombs universe there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That would. And there's another one that I'm working on right now, where this was designed by one of our Catacombs fans, believe it or not, and it's this kind of combat type game that he's come up with that still has a dexterity element to it, but you're drafting your troops and then putting them out on a battlefield. So this is something else that I'm doing some work on at the moment. So yeah, and of course we've got a few other projects in development that I haven't said anything about publicly yet, as always.
And I'm sure you can't tell us anything about those yet, right?
Well, some of it is because of like some licensing type situations and things like that. So I'll just hold off for the moment. But there's some interesting ones that we're always pushing forward on, right? I always seem to end up with the really challenging projects, So that's useful, rewarding, interesting. What keeps me coming back to it.
What other convention does Elzra go into throughout the year here?
Well, we are going to be exhibiting for the first time at BGG Con.
Oh, nice.
We will be exhibiting again at Shut Up and Sit Down, the Shucks convention,
Nice.
And also PAX Unplugged.
Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely be at PAX Unplugged, so definitely looking forward to seeing you there.
Oh yeah. No, we'll hook up there for sure. It's a great convention, and this will be our third year that we're exhibiting there.
Very cool.
Nice.
Mark, anything on the tip of your tongue that you wanted to ask Aaron?
No, I'm just excited to see there's more Catacombs coming, and like I said, it comes out a lot with the gaming group. We just want something, kind of that. I don't really want to call it a beer and pretzels game because that tends to have a bit of a derogatory tone to it when you say that. And I don't mean it that way, but just a game where you just want to hang out with friends, have fun, share some laughs. Watch someone flick something and it go flying off the table because they're terrible at flicking things. I'm usually that person. So I'm happy to hear more Catacombs coming and hearing that it's got those dexterity, a little bit of worker placement, spatial relations. It's kind of expanding the universe. That's really exciting, and
That's right.
I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for the launch. And I know I have some other friends who are going to be excited about it as well if they don't already know it's coming, if they're watching and are seeing this. I've got one guy in mind right now who's just salivating if he's watching right now. So he's a big Catacombs fan.
Well, that's great. We'll hook them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I really love the dexterity, and even in Catacombs you get the tactile elements there for the games, and that's like a huge thing because I'm a fidgeter when I play with games, and Josh is much more of a fidgeter than me, and so having games where you're like being able to kind of get your hands on the components and like really mess around with them while exploring that spatial relationship with it, I think is just something that's really going to tickle a nice little fancy in the back of our heads there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's this is probably the first Catacombs game where you can choose to sit down.
Oh, okay.
Because most of the time, so to your point about fidgeting, most of the time with
Yep.
Catacombs, you're standing up.
Moving around the
Moving
table.
And moving around the table.
line up
So
your shots.
this
Yep.
one, you can still stand up if you want, if you've built something interesting, but you will actually be able to sit down for that one. So hopefully it'll open the Catacombs world up to a whole new audience.
Very good. So
Now-
this is a later in the night game when I'm a little tired from standing all night.
There you
long.
go.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
Now you mentioned having to complete the building plan before your friends do. Is that a real-time dexterity
No,
speed?
it's not real time.
Okay.
Everyone has their own turn, and we want to keep it very straightforward. You're either drafting resources, broadly speaking, or you're going to be building one of the buildings. And I should also mention, of course, and or your residence, and or contributing to the community palace. So there's lots of different things that I haven't even touched upon that you're doing in the game
Okay.
as well. But those two broad choices, that's what you're making every turn, just to keep it moving forward and flowing. You're not looking at a reference sheet. Okay, it's my turn. I got 8 different things I can do, right?
Yeah.
One of those two things, right?
I like it.
Keeps it rolling.
Very cool. So, Aaron, where can our viewers go to find out more information about Catacombs cubes and everything else going on with Elzra Games right now?
Well, easiest way is elzra.com/cubes, and or just take a look at our homepage on elzra.com. Of course, our social channels, Twitter at Elzra Games, at Catacombs Game. We'll have all of the launch information when we're ready to put it out there, and or simply follow us on Kickstarter. You visit our profile on the Kickstarter site, and there's usually a button there where you can follow us. And it's I don't know if that shows up on mobile, but definitely on desktop it does. So that you'll just get an email when it launches. So any of those ways.
All right. And speaking of Kickstarter, big thank you again to helping out Twist Gaming with our promotional item Kickstarter and giving us some pretty awesome promos to include in our different tiers there. So thank
my
you
pleasure.
again for that.
Yeah. No, I hope your backers enjoy them. Those are some promo cards that we've given out situationally in the past, like sometimes just with replacement parts or whatever, but they're the first time that folks are going to be able to get those on Kickstarter.
Very cool. And then definitely stay tuned for Catacombs Cubes coming to Kickstarter and eventually a spotlight on Twist Gaming. But Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
Always a pleasure having you on. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Not a problem at all. Happy to be here as always.
Mark, you want to plug your stuff while we're at it too?
Yeah, just I'm on YouTube's where most of my videos are. It's just the Chubby Meeple on YouTube, pretty easy to find. All of the social media, I was one of the very few lucky people that was able to keep it all consistent across Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's at the Chubby Meeple at all of that. So all my character counts worked out perfectly. So I have to cut the off for Twitter like a lot of people have to do. But I'm there tweeting throughout conventions and usually pictures of board games I'm playing with family and friends. And so, and then of course all the YouTube videos for Kickstarter previews and reviews that I do are on the YouTube channel as well.
Alrighty, cool. Gentlemen, thank you so much, and thank all of you for watching at home. We're going to take a brief intermission right now, but we'll be back to you later today with more coverage from Gen Con 2019. Signing off for now, though, I'm Matt. Have a good one, everyone.